Hello YouTube, Great RJ1 here, and today I will be doing a concept for something that I know won't get added into Battlefront 2, but I thought, well, might as well do a concept on it. Now, it is actually the Sniper Droideka, which is what it's called in Legends. I have trouble remembering what it's called in canon, so I'm just going to be calling it the Sniper Droideka. Basically, if you don't know what it is, basically it's the Droideka or Destroyer, which you're probably more familiar with, or as the clones call them, Rollies. And what they basically are basically Droidekas made to snipe. So I'll be going by as much resource I was able to find on the fandom. So there's not a lot about them, so this should be a harder but also easier one to make, as it allows us to get creative. So first off, I'm going to begin with the stats, and keep in mind that I'm playing in arcade for this. I'm not good with the Droideka in any other mode. I can't even use them in co-op properly, so that's why I'm using them in arcades, just to have it a bit easier. Once I load in, we will begin with the guys, so hopefully we'll load in. This is taking a long time to load in. Like, if I was loading into the campaign right now, we'd be waiting at like 10-15 minutes. I know it doesn't take that long, but I have to wait like, it feels like 30 minutes till I load in minutes with that. Well, now I am a little laggy because I haven't really played this a whole lot, so anyways, hang on, yeah, you see it's pretty laggy because usually when I record it gets quite laggy. So now, yes. I'm going to take that off and replace it with that. This is the star cards I'll be using because the Droideka is pretty easy to take down, so that should help. Anyways, the Sniper Droideka, the way I'd have, now this is what my concept would be, they'd probably have the same amount as health as the normal Droideka. I have the star card on to increase its health, but it would have basically the same amount of health as the normal Droideka, and basically they'd be a sniper. Now, from what it is, they will excel more when it comes to sniping, so they will, but the first two abilities will be pretty obvious. The left ability would be rolling, and the right ability would be their right ability would be their shield, which they don't actually have one, at least not one where it's like the normal Droidekas. So, and what they would, and then their middle ability help. Yeah, now they'll just get into their other stats. They would have a sniper, and they really excel when they're in covered up areas. And the reason why they excel in covered up areas, but not too covered up, for an example, they do well in like a co-op Endor, if they're sniping like the Empire. Basically, the reason why it would be that, it would be because, of course, they are basically, their shields. Let me just go over the abilities real quick. So the first ability, and probably their most obvious, will be their ability where it's basically they are rolling, like they basically just work like this Droideka one. Now they would have a bit of a longer come up time when they come to their shields, which would be their right ability. Their shield ability would be much different to the other ability, to the normal Droideka's ability. the reason why it would be very different is because they actually use their rolling platform, which is the back of a Droideka, if you did not know, which you can see right now, and basically that would be used for their shields. That's how it was used in the Clone Wars, at least. And when it comes to that, they will have a longer get up time, meaning that you have to be sure you're in a good sniping area, otherwise you're just going to get destroyed. Now when it comes to that, you want to make sure that you're always in a covered area, so they will do very well on a map like Kashyyyk, for an example. Now, they'd probably have 4 abilities. I know that sounds a bit over the top, but let me listen. They could get into certain areas on like Theeds Naboo, which would allow them to do well. Now, the shields would only cover up the front of them, meaning that they would be very, very vulnerable from the sides and the back, meaning that they are more of a reinforcement that you need to use if you're going to be sniping good. Now their sniper damage would be this for reinforcements and infantry. A body shot would do 200 damage, so you're able to one shot any infantry. The head's damage for infantry would be 250, and the same would be for reinforcements. And then for heroes, it would be 150 damage to the body, 200 damage to the head. So they are pretty balanced quite well, and basically they are the snipers, so that's how much damage they will be doing. So these would be Droidekas that you really got to watch out for, because if you don't, then you're going to be very vulnerable to when it comes to attacks. Now when it comes, they would have a very slow fire rate. However, their middle ability would basically give them a energy beam, and this beam would basically allow them to one-shot any infantry. Basically this would deal 250 damage to infantry, to the body, 300 to the head. This is also the same for reinforcements. For heroes, 200 damage to the body, 250 to the head. So they are quite a deadly unit. You can probably already tell that. This would be in place of the Droideka's overload ability, if I'm correct. Yep, this would be in there. But their 4th ability would actually allow them to call in like a droid, pick up this, and then you can control it to get to certain locations you need to get to. Now this will be hard to control when you need to get to that certain location, but they can allow you to get to locations that you can't get to. For an example, like on the building balcony on Naboo, on Theeds Naboo, I mean. So you can see how their 4th ability would help. Now I gave them that ability decision, or you can use their dash and they can like roll up a wall, which they can't actually do, but I thought it's either that or they have to do it with a dash to allow them to walk up a wall. Well, run up really, roll. Now you can see I'm not the best with the Droideka, but I can hold my own with them. However, that's how I would have them play out. They'd be like one that's not the one that you always want to play aggressive with. So, like, you want to play aggressive with them, but they also have they would also have a bit of a slower walk speed than the Droideka's walk speed. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to run very fast by walk. So they'd be even slower, and I say this because their legs are a lot smaller than the Droideka's legs. Now for appearance options, there aren't really many for Droidekas really. However, ones I think they could add would be either their default appearance, which would be their like shiny brown appearance, which we have right now. They'd also have a probably training appearance likely, and they'd also And for just appearance options, they could have the blue and white separatists, which I think would also make a good option for for any of the battle droids and the normal Droideka. Now, it does not really matter when you're fighting infantry on what part of the body you'll hit, you'll always one-shot them. So it never really matters. Now when it comes, and they are very vulnerable, so you have to always make sure you're shooting from the side. You're always shooting from cover, because they are going to be very vulnerable from the sides, and they're meant to be hard to see, so you should have to be hiding quite well. So yeah, that's why Kashyyyk would probably be their best map, because they will have basically a lot of cover when it comes to Kashyyyk. And they will so their abilities and their shields, well, because it's their fronts, they actually will have infinite health, and when they get shots on the shields they will take no damage, so they're basically invincible from the fronts that way. However, when they're not, then they will not be invincible. However, they will probably be able to move backwards like the normal Droideka, spelt like the original Battlefront 2 Droideka. So that's just how I think it. Plus they probably work better if they did walk backwards, because they can basically kill Droidekas very easily because of her mind trick ability, so they'd have to have something like that. So yeah, and when you zoom in you probably get like there's X-ray vision, because the Droidekas can't actually see, they actually have sensors, if you did not know. So what that would do, it would basically just allow them to see enemies when you zoom in. Basically like a free ability that never needs a cooldown, it will never go on cooldown. And you saw I got a 40 kill streak. If I was in a different mode I probably never would have gotten that 41. So yeah. However, that's how I would have made the sniper Droideka, and I'd probably give them another zoom option like the double zoom. They probably it'd probably still have the sensor vision where you can see enemies through walls. However, yeah. The sniper Droideka would most certainly be an interesting addition, but probably a fun and welcome one as well. So I've liked to have seen them appear in the game. I know they probably would have never appeared, but if they did, then yeah, they would have been a very cool addition to the game if you ask me. So yeah. Also, they'd have a slow fire rate. Probably it would be very, very slow, because that's how they are. And they don't actually have many ability options apart from shield and their wheel form. So that's why I gave the laser beam option. Basically, it would be like the gunship laser beam, where you just hold the fire button and you'll go, and you'll be like, and you just hold it and you go where you aim it. So that's how it would be. But with how slow fire rate it is, that's why I also gave it a powerful beam. Plus they're a Droideka, and they're meant to be powerful. So yeah. They could even have the 420 health, and it could also open up for a new reinforcement class. Maybe you could call the class like this, like the skilled sniper or something like that. But yeah, anyways, that's my concept for the sniper Droideka, or you could say the sniper's destroyer. Tell me what you think of it, and if you will probably want to play it in the way I described it. the way I described it, it would probably be pretty, I think it would be too overpowered, but it would also sort of fit in well because the separatists could use a sniper droideka. Plus it also adds more variety when it comes to the destroyers, well, the droidekas. So yeah. So what do you think about this sniper droideka concept? I actually don't think I've ever seen anybody do it. That's how I have anyway. I don't think anybody's ever done this, so I'm probably the first person to do it. I don't know though, I'm probably going to check after this video. However, I am going to respawn and check for health. But let me just check. So, okay. So they would start out with 420 health, and they just have the 20% more when it would come to the star card for them, if they were part of the class that the droidekas are part of, if they did be a part of that. And I think they'd probably be a part of the infiltrator class if they didn't get an exclusive like sniper class, like their own sniper class. I'm going to take off the star cards real quick just to test it out. So, so the normal droideka has 650 health. So I think the 420 is probably good for them. So I'm just going to let these clones kill me. Go on, I'm just in a ball form. You have to destroy them. Right, I'm going into the water. Oh, I just was rolling down. But yeah, that's my sniper droideka. What do you think about it? And would you decide to play it if you actually had if you actually could? I probably would if it was like that. However, I get DICE will probably never make it that overpowered, but you can one-shot anybody with pretty much most of the snipers. Anyway, I think I don't really use the specialist class, and really a headshot usually would mean like a one-shot, so this wouldn't be too crazy if you ask me. In my opinion, it sounds pretty accurate, but yeah, that's how I would make the sniper droideka. So yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments, if you would play it, if it did come out to something like that, and how would you, and if you think this was a good one, then I am planning to make it a concept series. I will probably carry them on the second channel I'm planning to make, if I do get it, if I do decide to make it. So yeah. However, they would have they probably have the droideka wheel speed when it comes to it, but they would probably have a slower warp speed if you're asking me. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for the sniper droideka. Tell me what you think about it, and if you would play it like this, and tell me if you would play it if it works like this. I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, tell me if you would like to play it if it was like this. So yeah, bye.